Hey, what's up everybody? It's time for a new campaign and you guys chose the Persia region, so we're going to Ajam. Now, the reason we're going to Ajam is pretty simple. You see, I still need to get an achievement in this game. Specifically, the Keep the Flame Burning achievement, and if I'm going to be playing a Zoroastrian country, I think it's thematically appropriate to be Persia. And while all these guys can kind of form Persia, I think it's best to do it with Ajam. The reason why is I don't think any Timurid country should really be forming Persia. I think they should be forming the Mughals. And let's just ignore the fact that my guy has a last name of Timurid. He's not a Timurid. He is Ajam. These guys are Timurids. And let's be honest, Mughal Zoroastrian just kind of feels wrong. So we're just going to stick with Persia. So, Ajam. I've already gone ahead and established all these estate privileges. You can go ahead and look through here and pause if you want to, but for the most part, this is stuff you've seen me take before. There's very little difference here from what I normally would take, but there are some differences. I'm just going to point out the big differences. I granted this because extra tax modifier, not really to ask for the button, but it's still definitely worth it, even though it is going to be more influence, so I can't revoke anything for a while. I'll eventually get that fixed. As far as the ulema and the dhimmi, I'm flipping Zoroastrian eventually, which will replace these two estates. I don't care how much influence they have. The dhimmi are mainly where I get most of my bonuses at here. I want tolerance to heathens until I flip, because that will get me a lot less unrest in their provinces once I have them starting spreading from rebels, which still helps. And religious unity, because I really have none. The last thing here is freedom of interpretation, to have that monthly piety moving towards mysticism naturally. I want that to constantly be heading towards mysticism as much as possible throughout this game. You can choose legalism if you want, but you'll see why I prefer mysticism later. Now that that's been done, let's go ahead and get the rest of this set up. Now, I prefer, or you will be taking lenient taxation to have the easiest start. Money is good, but that's not enough money to really make a difference, and 1,000 manpower really doesn't matter. Pick the diplomatic reputation. It makes your life a little bit easier finding allies. Mushasha, Karkyunlu, and Timurids are always going to be your rivals. All three are your options, so pick them now. As far as your allies are concerned, the first person you're going to do is royal marry the Ottomans, and then you're going after your second major ally, the Mamluks. You're actually going to get them both. As you can see, they are rivaled to both the Timurids and Karkyunlu. 99.9% of the time, in my experience, they rival both. Only in rare occasions will they not rival one or the other, and I've never seen them not rival both of them. So you'll almost always be able to pick up the Mamluks too. It would be a rare instance that I haven't seen. But as long as they have rivaled the Timurids, scornfully insult them. The reason why is you actually have a mission here to insult or scornfully insult them, and if you're going to do it with a diplomat, you might as well get the Mamluks on your side too. And then we're going to use the last guy to improve relations. Now that that's done, crank up the speed, wait 8 days, so we can get our diplomat back. Now, despite the fact that Transoxianus had their liberty desire suppressed within the first month, it doesn't register that he's loyal until December 1st, which means you can support independence and keep him from becoming loyal, and by doing so, he won't help the Timurids expand, which keeps the Timurids less able to blob, which means you're able to pick them off. So do support them as quickly as you can, as long as it's by December 1st. Now we're going to pick up an alliance with Shirvan, because, hey, they're one of the people I want to get an alliance with. I'd also like to get an alliance with Hormuz, but doesn't seem like he really wants it. I'll come back to him in a second. And then we have the Ottomans and the Mamluks. Find one of the furthest afield people that the Ottomans are rivaled to. Somebody like Lithuania or Hungary or Aragon are preferential because, yeah, they're people that usually fall under personal unions. So it doesn't matter if their opinions are hurt, because who cares? So you can go ahead and do that. Now, once I have my diplomat back, I can pick up Hormuz. And I can start improving relations with the Ottomans directly. And now I'm just waiting to get a royal marriage with the Mamluks, and that usually can take to the point of about 105 opinion. So it takes a couple of years, so you have time. You're not in like a race against the clock to not get annihilated. No one's going to touch you in that time. But for right now, you still want to do this. Oh, and we need to hire the free company. You need to do that before you hire a general. I will explain the advantage of doing that later, but for right now, do not hire a general until you see them in the world, and then you can hire them. If you start recruit them and then hire a general, the moment they get spit out, you lose your army professionalism, so just wait. You're not in a huge rush, so you're fine. Come on. I know you want to be an ally. When you look over here, you know I'm awesome. Come on. Oh, and you cook those missions now because A, gives you bonuses, B, gives you a bunch of claims on Timurids so you can attack them whenever you want. Whenever it is convenient. Which is basically just after Shah Rukh dies and the Mamluks are willing to come in. Because, again, rivals, they love to mess with them. Fortunately, it doesn't look like they've decided to support the independence of Transoxiana. Okay, there we go. Now that he's friendly, and I can pick up a royal marriage with him, now is the time to get them both as allies. I'm going to pull them both back with 2 different diplomats, because I should be able to ally the Ottomans. And you must start with the Ottomans. If you start with the Mamluks, you will not be able to get the Ottomans. So, first things first, send the alliance to the Ottomans, wait a day, and you can still send an alliance to the Mamluks. The reason why you're able to do this is because by royal marrying them, you get 10 reasons. By having the high opinion from the royal marriage too, it helps you get high enough, but also the friendly opinion, this heart being here, cancels out you being allied to one of their rivals. Which means, given that 50, I'm still able to ally them because I have the royal marriage and I boosted my opinion enough. So make sure you pick up that royal marriage before you try and do this, and make sure you have plenty of opinion so that they'll be friendly, because that way you should be able to pick up both, and they should remain your allies for quite a number of years. Like, you should be good with them for quite a long time. Now that that is done, I can pull this guy back, because I don't need them right now, and I can... Okay. I'm calling in the Ottomans and Shirvan in on a war, and I'm going to promise them land. I can even call in the Mamluks and promise them land, and I'm actually going to do that too. But before you do so, go through here and set all the land in Karakayunlu's area here as vital interest. Just do not set Baghdad as vital interest. The reason why is if you look at what they actually want, the Ottomans only consider Baghdad to be a vital interest province, and that's why they're willing to come in. As far as the Mamluks are concerned, they only, well, they'll see all of this as interesting, but since I did that, they're only willing to come in because of Baghdad. So by doing this, they'll hand over the occupation except for this one province, because that is also a core of his vassal. But beyond that, they'll hand it over to you except for Baghdad. And here's the thing. The Ottomans can't take any land. They're not close enough. The Mamluks, they'll expect land, so I'm not going to call them in, because actually now that I think about it, they'll actually expect land. And Shirvan, they might want land, but they'll only take one province. If you have them allied to Mushasha over here, which I could call him in, actually, now that I think about it, by just doing this, you can call them in and promise them land on occasion, and they'll come in for that because they'll have that land down there also marked as interesting. In this case, though, they're not willing to, so not going to bother. But these two will come in, and you do want Shirvan, even though you have to give them land. It is still absolutely worth it. So, interesting. Wait a minute. I thought you were allied to this guy. What happened? Oh, you're allied to him. Interesting. I didn't even think of that. Okay. So you two are allied. I can smack both of you pretty easily. But I'm going to go after these guys first, so go call them in. And let's go. And here's the thing. Since, again, they only think Baghdad is important, they'll come in, they'll do all the fighting, and they'll let you take the land. They'll even pass the occupation over to you. Now, do not, under any circumstances, take Baghdad until you're ready to actually fight the Ottomans. Not just in this war, but in any war. The reason why is once you do that, it's like 200 opinion that they lose with you, and they'll usually break the alliance. Okay, now that Shah Rukh is dead, we can support everybody's independence. And I mean everybody. Every single one of them. I don't care about that. And I'm going to focus on Diplo power because every single one of those counts as a relation slot. Thing is that, yeah, they will start to ally each other soon-ish because they're in a war. But once that war is done, they should be able to ally each other, and then that alliance will keep them buoyed up in terms of liberty desire. So I don't have to actually do anything, and I don't want to be called in. There we go. Usually they wait until after they're done, but it looks like they're not willing to do that in this case. So if you are willing to be disloyal without me helping you out, I am all for that. Just be aware that if you do this, they can still be made into loyal. They actually can. Because the AI, while bad, is smart enough to do what they can to get these guys loyal again. So, they will still try. Whether it's sometimes another AI walking in and taking out their army, or deving in their land, or whatever the AI needs to do, it will try and find a way to do it. So just be aware. Yeah, I didn't think they'd give everything, but it looks like they're giving most of it, which is fine by me. Just don't be annoying, and we should be fine here. Basically, I just need to get to Sinjar. I would prefer to get to Rabba as well, but just because I want to be able to stop the Mamluks from also taking land over here, but I don't absolutely need to. Oh good, I can get extra manpower. Don't really need it at the moment, but I guess it's always worthwhile to have the ability. And now that I have all the occupations I really need to get in this war, I'm going to go ahead and fall back, because I don't need to do more. The Ottomans will handle most of the rest. It's just, the only thing left to do is Tabriz, and I do not want to take the attrition doing that, to be honest. So instead I'll just send my guys up here and wait for the Ottomans to come help. And this is why you bring in Shirvan. You want them to be a punching bag, because if you're not doing this, either they're occupying your lands, or they're occupying Anatolia, trying to knock the Ottomans out of the war. And while you want the Ottomans to lose manpower because it slows them down, if they get knocked out of the war, even without money or anything else, that doesn't help you. It makes it harder for you to expand, and it makes it so the Ottomans can recover, which is not good, for obvious reasons. I actually have a good heir. Huh. This is not the first time I've played as Ajam in the last couple of weeks. For those of you who have actually been, like, knowing about this channel for a while, especially last week, you probably saw the post about what happened. For those of you that are new, last Saturday I was recording, stayed up late. Sunday we were getting ready to go to my brother's birthday party, and my dog's hind legs just stopped working. And I mean it just that way. It's just, they just stopped. She couldn't feel anything, she couldn't move her legs, she wasn't wagging her tail, nothing was working. Wow, that was fast. That's gonna really screw me up. Give me a second, I actually have to restart this one. I can't have a Regency for 15 years and still record. I don't want to restart. Give me 1 second. See you in a second. Okay, sorry about that. I just don't want to have to restart the whole game. It's not worth starting a whole new recording thing just because of that randomness. And I just cannot be in a Regency for 15 years. It slows this way down way too soon. If it was later in the run, sure. Now, no. No, 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 no. Fine. So, I don't remember what I was talking about. I think it was about my dog. But yeah, her legs just stopped working. So immediately we took her to the vet. Just without hesitation, to the vet we go. The vet said we needed to see a surgeon, so we went to the first vet surgeon that we could find, who said it would be about $14,000. Found another one very quickly that would do it for $6,000, which was, hey, great, especially since they put us on a plan to pay it off over time. And that was a huge thing to save my dog. And we got everything ready. They were going to do the surgery. Everything was fine, and then they did a CT scan and realized no surgery would help at all. It just wouldn't help. So we had to cancel the surgery. It went from the dog has about an 80% chance of getting function back in some capacity, with a decent chance of being able to run and be back to normal with the surgery, and like a 1% chance she didn't make it, to a coin flip if she ever got any sensation at all. Or not. Let alone being able to walk or run or do anything, and about a 10% chance that she wouldn't make it. And on top of that, instead of it being a surgery that we'd find out overnight if she made it or not, it was going to take weeks. So we're still in the thick of it. Like earlier tonight, when I was getting all this set up, she was still in the room with my wife. Not crying, but just, you could tell the frustration in her everything. Just, she wants to run, she wants to play, but she can't do anything. Really sad, you know? Turn that, and I thought I have a core. Yeah, I have a core. I'm taking that core, thank you very much. And I'll take all the money to... Oh, I can't take all the money. I have to give you a province, and then I can take the rest of the money. See, everybody's happy. And now what I can do is I can just hand the land that is Ardalan's, which are these two cores, over. Kirkuk is also an Iraqi core, though I don't want Iraq to have it. Even though you can't release Iraq out of it, it's Kurdish. But it is an Iraqi core, and I am going to be releasing Iraq. I just wanted to be able to integrate it earlier, and I can do it about 5 years earlier if I give it to Ardalan. And then I'm going to give this Syrian core to Iraq. And the reason why is because, well, I don't need a one-province miner that I'm going to be having probably stay around for 50 years before I'm going to find a use for them. So instead, I'll let them sit in Iraq, and then I'll integrate them later. With that being done, though, it is now time to turn down south, because Mushasha down here is another target. Oh, look, you've actually expanded. I bet you thought that was impressive, huh? Oh, it's really not. Again, people might be willing to come in and help, but I don't think I really need it in this occasion. Because Mushasha has a habit of mothballing their capital fort here, and then as long as you could make it there before they get a couple of months, because it's several months beforehand, you should be able to occupy that, or at least siege that fort before they can get the half the men in it that they need for it to be a real fort. On top of that, you see, 6 guys, let's take these 9, just walk down south. And as you can see, in a real quick second here, they can just keep walking. Oh, they made it almost. They made it 1 province over. That's fine. That helps block these guys in. If they move in one straight line, sometimes they can make it out of the fort zone of control. But it doesn't look like it's going to work this time. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's right. I have a Tabriz. Let's core you up. I almost forgot to core you. And you are now a march. Okay. Did Shahrukh die and I didn't notice? Interesting. He might have died and I didn't notice, but either way, these guys are all disloyal except for... Oh no, you're disloyal too. Why aren't you letting me... Oh, you're friendly. Yeah. You want to get your liberty from that evil, evil, evil guy that's sending you cookies, huh? Alright, let's pull the normal manpower guys off of here. Hey guys, so today I'm giving away a CD key for Honey, I Joined a Cult. If you want a copy of this game, just comment the word cult below, and at the end of the week, I'll pick one of your guys' comments that do so at random, and reply to it with a CD key. Obviously, everybody else can see this, you'll just get a notification, so anybody can enter the code, and whoever does first gets the game. But, if you want it, comment below. Let's get back to the video. Because I don't think I actually need to have them standing there. Man. I think Hassa is going to be limited to the one province here. Which I do not mind at all. Now, if you recall earlier, I was talking about vital interest provinces and yellow and red and all that. You can't take any red provinces if you want to keep your alliance with people, because they really, really, really want that land. Even if it's not great land, they really want that land. So if I were to take Baghdad, I'm likely to lose the Ottomans, because that's about a 200 opinion hit with them. On the other hand, though, they also have a lot of other provinces here in Syria, but if you notice, there is a way to snake using the non-red provinces. I kind of want these because they would be kind of useful to me provinces, not the I absolutely must have these. Those non-vital interests, these strategic utility ones, if you do this right, and you can time it right to where the Ottomans aren't going to attack the Mamluks while your truce expires, and you can call them in, and you get lucky, and you get their actual occupations, etc., and set things right, you can snake all of this land, and by doing so, keep your Ottoman alliance. And if you do it that way, you're preventing the Ottomans from going into Egypt, into Arabia, into India, into Iran, all of these lands, so the only way they can expand is into Europe and gaining coalitions, or into Russia and gaining coalitions, meaning you're stopping the blob. The blob is just ended. They can't do anything. And on top of that, they won't realize you're an enemy and try and get out of your trap in time. Like, they will routinely, I'll help you cut them off from even more land. And help you expand to the point where you are a bigger threat than anybody else around them. So, it takes a lot of luck and it takes a lot of effort, but if you do it right, you never have to worry about anybody over here. The biggest threat I've ever had playing as Ajam in these games was Russia. And that is a 50-50 chance if they even form. Let's go and wipe you out. Can I go annex you so it's a bunch of rebels instead? Not quite. Getting there, though. Getting there quickly. Go with mysticism. Can I wipe you out now? Yes, I can. And yeah, I'm not going to be able to core all of it, but I can core enough of it. I need to drop another fort down here, I think, even though it's probably going to hurt my economy a little much. I just know I need one. Man, what's it like not having manpower, man? How do you not have manpower? Every time. But yeah, given what was happening with my dog, I was unable to do anything to help, so I just played Ajam. And I ended up playing the game I was originally recording. I came back home and I recorded all of it, and I still even have the save. I think it was 16-something by the end of the day. And I had extended here, all of Arabia, Horn of Africa. I think I was pushing into Tunis, if I remember right. And I had all of the Byzantine cores up here, and all of this. Russia was in this area, and, like, all of this. So, I didn't even realize nobody had been challenging Russia. Not the Polish, not the Lithuanians. They were allies. until it was far too late. And there was like nothing I could do to stop them with their inevitable steamroll to the east. Alright, got more rebels popping, so let's go ahead and get these guys a-stomping. Because if I have to do it, I guess I have to do it. Not like I have much of a choice. And am I able to attack you with the... I am able to attack you with the Mamluks. Do you have any actually loyal vassals? No. No, you don't. So I don't have to worry about that. It's just Beapus and Baluchistan. Because for some reason, Baluchistan doesn't care that you have their core. And Hormuz is busy right now, but Hormuz should be done here soon. So I'll wait for Hormuz. That's fine. I have rebels to stomp anyway. And I've realized I'd never actually bothered getting the favors, so I'm glad that they're there now. Let's go ahead and keep doing that, though. Oh, look. You guys fired at the same time. Ain't that special. And attempt to improve conditions, it's fine. I kind of want to build another fort right here just to help block my capital off. Don't know if I necessarily need it at the moment, though. I will eventually. So I might as well get it started, but... just waiting on you, man. Come on. And there are some Bosphorus separatists. Okay. I'm starting to actually need the manpower, so I can actually look at this click in a second. Not quite there yet, though. So, here's the thing. For those of you who do not often play Muslim countries, you have a piety interaction. You have between mysticism, which gives a bunch of bonuses, and you have legalism, which gives a bunch of bonuses. Usually people say legalism is far stronger. Oh look, you're fighting against the War of Independence against quite a bit. So now would be a good time for me to jump you. I don't care if Hormuz is ready to go. Now, here's the thing. You have these buttons down here that gives you advantages. Just in case you're not aware, if you're at 75 or more legalism, you can remove 2 corruption, allowing you to not have to worry about overextension as much, or falling behind tech, or worst case scenario, you can just debase currency, get free money. Over here is manpower. Now, this is just 2 corruption, period. But this is based off of 2 years of manpower recovery speed. It's not based on your maximum manpower directly, it's based off of how much you gain each month. This is important because this is 3,868. But if I come in here and I activate Slack and Recruiting Standards, which doubles my manpower recovery speed, it is now 7,184 for 1 army professionalism. Because I can now immediately go back in and turn it off if I actually had any more, or I can just ignore it. It doesn't really matter. And at the end of the month, it goes away. So if you're a Muslim country, anymore, at this point, since you can get 1 army professionalism from recruiting a general, every 5 years that you could actually click this and you need manpower, go and recruit a general, slacken, and then click it, because otherwise you're leaving 2 years worth of manpower on the table. That's it. That's my big advice right now. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump on top of this guy. There's also Beapus, but I want to take Beapus for myself. So your army is somewhere. Not really my concern. But let's detach you. Because I want to fully annex Beapus in this. And I don't know, is Bam a fort? Yes, it is. Fine. We'll go for Bam. And get on Beapus as much as possible so I can full annex them. And my allies will handle the rest. The Mamluk should really be able to just wipe the floor with what's left. I should be able to wipe the floor. I didn't even realize they're that desperate. Well, The Mamluks can help me with rebel problems I might have. That's fine too. Come on, build these forts. I just realized I have a farmland. Usually I have to wait until I can integrate Iraq and I have the great terrain in the Tigris and Euphrates Basin right here. Just a dev push because, yeah, that's a lot of farmland, grassland that you can push those institutions in without any issue. And they're all right next to each other, so it spreads fast, so it helps reduce the cost of having to embrace institutions. But since I got that core, that's going to make it a lot easier. That was lucky. I just realized I'm paying for this core when it's a vassal's port. Oops. I guess I should have just handed that over to you, huh? Because now I'm going to be dealing with unrest from you, huh? Oh, perfect. He fired as a rebel after the fort got built. And this one is going to be built in 56, so just got to watch that. Fantastic. A bunch of unrest. That's what I need right now. Unrest. So who is loyal in your little empire right now? Fars and Afghanistan? How did you get them loyal? I mean, I don't understand. Because I understand you're fighting like everyone else, but how did you keep them loyal? And am I able to attack you? Yes, I am. He doesn't have any allies until he's done with his independence war, so by doing this, I can walk in and, with ample luck, wipe him out before he can really get on his feet. And I am all for that. Technically, if you do this right, you should be able to declare on like multiples of these guys, and nobody could really help them unless they were independently supported. And since it looks like only Transoxiana was, should be easy. Let's just stack you in there. Instead of trying to dance around this guy, just stack him there. And you're willing to leave this world. Goodbye. I just realized I'm out of time, so I might have to actually end this one right here. I hate doing that in the middle of a war. I hate doing it. It's always one of those, I don't like the cliffhanger. I think it's kind of frustrating unless it's a really big war. Because it's always one of those, just finish. Just finish the war, dude. But in this case, it kind of makes sense why I can't, because this is going to take a bit. This should be quick, though. Kind of want to just, kind of want to let him get his independence and then take him out, but no. Why is it so quiet, this music? Let's go with no. French music. I don't know what makes this particular thing French, but okay. I mean, fort maintenance is actually helpful. Like, I spend a lot in forts. I have a lot going to forts. But I don't know if it's necessary to use that on it. Tax modifier going up by 15%. I mean, that kind of helps. Not really. What would that be? 0.6. If I drop this down by a fifth, that's over a ducat. I mean, long term, it's going to probably be better for me to... So what do I do here? Do I vassalize Khorasan and give them their provinces back? Which I can do, since it's technically two separate wars. No. Okay. Yeah, I don't care. Take all your money. And now Transoxiana takes over. Perfect. And here, I can piece you out now. Fine. Just these two guys left as your vassals. Fine. That you don't really have the ability to stop me at this point, but I do want to take this fort off of your hands because it's a mountain fort, and I do not want to fight you on it later. Same as this one. I just do not want to have to fight you later. But I think they're out of manpower now. Like, they're out of troops, they're out of manpower, they're out of everything. So they are basically done for. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the lowered fort cost, actually. Kept debating about it, and it's just the forts are going to be the bane, because if you actually look at the terrain here, there's a lot of great places for forts in some places, and great chokeholds, but there are some that are just wide open, and it's going to be where all my dev is. So I'm going to have to build many, many, many forts just to stop people from walking in, but also to stop rebels from constantly firing until I have some religious unity. And yeah, it is kind of that bad. Like, there's a lot of rebels you have to fight as anybody other than Shia in the Persia area. But I guess that's pretty historically accurate, isn't it? There's a reason why Iran today is predominantly Shia. At least I think they are. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. Did you actually win that war? How did you win that, Timurids? Like, legitimately, how? Need to get these guys ready for integration. Don't need more favors. Come on, I need to end this episode. I'm already, like, 6 minutes over, 7 minutes over. I don't need a corruption. I don't want to lose a stability, but that corruption's bad, but stability's even worse. Yeah, I know you're losing all the manpower. You're fine. Take the fort. Come on, man. Take the fort. Oh. The pain. The pain in watching it fail to take a fort for the 9,000th time. It's literally a 1 in 3 chance. How are you still failing to take this fort? I understand that you have a lot of defensiveness. That just slows it down. It's still a 1 in 3. Come on. You can do it. Take the fort. Take it. Take the fort, man. Oh, good God. I swear, I hate this mechanic. Just, dude. I understand that you don't want it just to be a matter of time, but when you're sitting there watching a fort just sitting at 35% for potentially years, something's gotta give. I understand that you could do that later on when forts become just level 8 and stuff, but right now, it's just extra pain. Yeah, sure, you can have extra unrest. I won't be taking this land, I guess. Finally! You finally did it! Huzzah! You finally figured it out. Good lord, man. Gotta go in. Now, do I take more land or just sit there now? I mean, this land is going to have extra mercenary caused to unrest. So, I'm going to leave that be. What is that, Hormuzi? Yeah. You can have fun fighting that off. It's not the greatest war of mine, but it is enough, and I can release Khorasan, and they take most of that land with them. It's just Yazd that stays with me, and this province is up here. Oh, that's right, I didn't finish that stuff. Oh, oops. Well, either way, that will be enough for this one. I have to go and smack Karkiyunlu again soon, keep fighting the rebels, come back and deal with Timurids later, though I am still surprised that they have actually been able to stabilize them at all, but they seem to actually be able to keep everything together somehow. So, kudos to them. And, by the way, I released Khorasan because cores everywhere. So, I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. Thank you guys for watching. Have a wonderful day.